Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope you're feeling good this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. It's Rep Yo City time. Hope you're feeling good. Hope you're feeling good. TGIF. The grind includes Friday. You know what I'm saying? That's right. That's right. Uh, this week we had a pretty good week, man. Give me a replay, gang. If you're watching the replay, give me a replay, gang. If you're watching the replay. But this is a pretty good week here at Good Morning Millionaire. For those that don't know, a real smart thing for you to do is to join our text message system. That's a real smart thing for you to jump in. I don't know how many of you know, but every Friday night we do a newsletter that you can jump on, right? We do a newsletter. All you have to do is put your email box in wearemillionaireminded.com. We are millionaireminded.com, and you will get the email that kind of breaks down everything that we've done that week. Not only that, there are these three sections of every email. One is mindset, one is skill set, and one is heart set. And I think it'll be the best thing you read all week. You know, we hear that over and over again. And then next Friday is going to be the return of free coaching Friday. And so one special thing I want you to do with today's email, which comes out about 3:30 p.m. Eastern this evening, is make sure you reply to it with any of your questions for free coaching Friday. So this week was good. Sunday night, I actually did a special training on 10 financial illiteracy statistics you can use to explain to your family and friends what America's really going through right now. So I gave you 10 of those Sunday night. You can find those on Millionaire Minded TV on YouTube. Then on Monday, we did 6 ways any entrepreneur can beat laziness, right? So that was Monday night. That was Monday morning. So that was really good. Sunday evening, we did a special training, a Sunday night mentorship training on 10 statistics you can use. It's like a tongue twister. 10 statistics you can use to explain financial illiteracy in the richest country in the world. Blew your mind with some of those statistics. Then Monday morning, we talked about 6 ways any entrepreneur can beat laziness. Hope you enjoyed that. Then on Tuesday, we talked about the 7 steps to making a dream come true. That was a really good one. Y'all seem to enjoy that a lot. That was one of our most shared trainings this week. Then on Wednesday, we talked about how to create influence. Again, that's for Skill Set Wednesdays. Every Wednesday, we just focus on skill set, right? And then on Thursday, we did the 4 pillars of inspiration that last. All of these are trainings for entrepreneurs. Our stated purpose here at Good Morning Millionaire is to increase the life expectancy of the entrepreneur. And I hope you feel like we did that a little bit for you this particular week. If you're looking for a stocking stuffer or the perfect Kwanzaa gift, I want to suggest you go to We Are Millionaire Minded and order your vision board coloring book. Do that right now. Order your vision board coloring book because that thing is amazing. Yeah, share the broadcast. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Good morning. Good morning. That vision board coloring book is flat out phenomenal. I've never seen one like it. And how much better would your children be if they learn to use their imagination? How much better would you be had someone really taught you and encouraged you to use your imagination? That's what that vision board coloring book allows you to do. I mean, there are so many images in there that will just get your mind racing and get you thinking about what life could look like. So I really hope that you pick one of those up, buy a few of them. You know, get 4 or 5 of them. I know Mr. Terry just now bought 6 of them yesterday. You know what I mean? They're just the perfect gifts. Whether you're looking for a good Kwanzaa gift or you're looking for a stocking stuffer, it's called Color Me Millionaire. It's called Color Me Millionaire. Let me see if I can grab one for y'all real quick. Hold on just a second. Yeah, here we go. So it's called Color Me Millionaire, the affirmation and visualization coloring book. It's the perfect stocking stuffer or the perfect Kwanzaa gift. You know, order that right now and you will see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. You know, You know, it's all type of images like this. This is what you want your babies coloring in. Am I right? Or you know what I'm saying? Right? And then it's got like little note pages for you to take your notes, and your personnel file is always quotes, right? Since blessings come with burdens, miracles happen after misery, and opportunities always come with opposition. Maybe resistance is just proof you're growing. You know what I mean? All types of dope quotes like that. At any rate, perfect stocking stuffer, perfect stocking stuffer. But we're going to get started with today's training. Next Friday is a return of Free Coaching Friday. So get excited about that. You can follow me on Instagram at No Money Down King, but also make sure you subscribe to this training right here. Share this with an entrepreneur who you know is looking to change their lives, looking to extend their life expectancy. You know, businesses go out of business way too quick. And a lot of times we don't realize it's 80% psychological. It's 20% mechanical. You know, it's 20% the stuff that you do, but it's 80% in your mind. It's 80% your mindset, your level of spirit. Everything you know is just existing on a higher vibration in you. And so what we try to do every morning is help you expand your vibration. So today what I wanted to talk about were the 5 ethics of life. The 5 ethics of life. There are simple principles that you can employ. Sometimes it's really cool to break things down in these little colloquialisms because it lets you remember exactly what's going on. So I'm gonna give you these 5 principles. These are full of wisdom, even though they're really, really short. And it's just something for you to add to your book of power so that when you're going over your notes, you can have a little bit of increase. Here's the first one, y'all. If you're ready for number 1, give me a number 1 and a share. Give me a number 1 and a share. Make sure you're ready for our newsletter. Make sure you're ready for our newsletter. It comes out 3:30 p.m. today. Appreciate the shares, everybody. Appreciate the shares. All right, y'all are ready. Here's the first one, y'all, and you hear us talk about this a lot. This is easier said than done, but we're going to say it anyway, right? Listen before you speak is number 1. Listen before you speak. Millionaires, I can't tell you, every successful person that I've ever met who's been successful for any amount of time, they have learned and developed the ability to listen. I'm going to tell you something. That's a jewel. There's this famous story about this guy that went to a dinner with a high school coach and then John Wooden, right? I don't know how many of you know John Wooden, legendary UCLA coach. I always use his quote, "The will to win is really the will to prepare," right? This dude won 7 NCAA national championships in a row, okay? And then 10 in the last 12 years that he coached. I don't think that anyone will ever beat either of those records. When you start talking about numbers like that, it ain't the players, okay? At that point, you got to give it up for the coach because you can't keep your players 5 and 6 years even. For him to win 10 in a row, for him to win 7 in a row and then 10 out of the last 12 years, I mean, come on. This guy's a legend in the flesh. But if you had been at that dinner, you would have thought the high school coach was John Wooden, and then John Wooden was a high school coach. What do I mean? The high school coach did most of the talking, right? And the best, one of the best easily, if not the best college coach of all time did most of the listening. Isn't that interesting? I can give you example after example after example like that, where you would never believe who is who if you thought that all success came from talking. I don't care whether you're talking about negotiating when there's a lot of money on the table. I won't learn anything today by talking, but I will learn a great deal by listening. Think about that for a minute. Think about that for a minute. Millionaires, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at this first ethic of life that we're here talking about? Talk before you listen. Listen before you talk. Listen before you talk. It is amazing how many people do not nourish this ability in themselves. You know, I really feel like a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we have quantum leaps waiting for us just by listening to our clients. There are quantum leaps just sitting there waiting behind us, asking them questions, and then actually listening to what they say. Scale of 1 to 5. What do you give yourself on that? Do you cut them off? Do you assume you know what they're going to say? When you let somebody feel heard, all of a sudden, your influence grows as well. We talked about that earlier this week, right? If you're ready for number 2, give me a number 2 and a share. Give me a number 2 and a share. Give me a number 2 and a share. Here's the second one. Earn before you spend. Earn before you spend. Now, this is pretty ironic coming from me, who's one of the owners of a financial services company that focuses on both credit and lending, right? Because you're supposed to be a lender, not a borrower. Isn't that interesting? So why would I say earn before you spend? It's because it is a crucial principle that you begin to learn to use your money as seed money. Whenever possible, what you want to try and do is spend out of the profit. You always hear that quote from Jim Rohn, profits are better than wages. But let me tell you something, spending the profit is much better than spending the wages. You want to take the money you have, use it to make more money, and then spend that. It's a simple principle of life, but a lot of people don't understand it. I don't care if you're working at a university where the budgets are super tight and you need more dollars in the athletic department or more dollars in the science department. The whole idea is that instead of just straight spending the budget you're given, all of the smart budget directors find a way to take some of that budget and then create fundraisers. Does that make sense? Well, that's how you got to look at it with your own expenses. Start putting aside. You guys always hear me say that if you've been working 10 years and you haven't put away $10,000, which most of America hasn't, even though we're the richest country in the world, that means you haven't paid yourself $20 a week. Tony Robbins has a new book called Unshakable, where he breaks down a guy who never made more than $14,000 a year, but by the time he passed, he was worth $70 million. Why? Because you got to pay yourself first, right? And then after that, you can start talking about putting that money to work for you and everything. But a basic ethic of life, and number 2 today, is that you want to earn before you spend. It's a simple principle, but most people don't follow it. Millionaires, you got to earn before. It would be nice to be given the money for all of your necessities. But when you earn the money before you spend it, all of a sudden you respect the money more. To succeed in life, you're going to need, a wishbone and a funny bone, but you're also going to need a backbone. You cannot be a victim to all of these advertisements and all of these impulses that they are training themselves day and night to give you. Amazon has a system where they got a warehouse set up where they attach, these monitoring devices to you and let you walk through the warehouse. And then they judge where your heart skips a beating, where you get excited, just looking at the products. This is how deep they are getting into studying your psychology and being able to affect you emotionally to trick you into buying stuff you don't need. If your mind is not stronger than your emotions, you're going to lose every time. And so that's ethic number 2. You got to earn before you spend. Here's ethic number 3. If you're ready for number 3, give me a number 3 and a share. Give me a number 3 and a share. So far what we said is you got to listen before you speak. As an entrepreneur, that's really important because think about it, y'all. Think about this. If you give me your solution before I've given you my problem, then what I'm doing is begging, right? What you're doing is begging. If you give me your solution before I've even given you my problem, then what you're doing is begging. But if you give me your solution after I tell you my problem, well, now you're just helping me out. I always tell I always make this analogy of a guy. Fellas, you'll understand what I'm saying. He walks up to you with the car like, hey, bro, you need a haircut? It's like, what? What you trying to say? Right? I didn't even say I needed a haircut. That's just not a good marketing. I get it. It's better than nothing. But, what's going to work better is if I'm the one that's saying, man, I need a haircut. And then somebody tells me about you, right? So what are you doing to incentivize your current customers to send more customers? That would be a better way to go. But instead, you going up offending people, asking them if they need a haircut before they even say they do, right? All right. And then second was earn before you spend. Here's number 3. Think before you write. Think before you write. Millionaires, I don't know how many of you are leaders. I would bet most of you. But a very successful, entrepreneur and businessman early in my life, He gave me some really good advice, right? That what you want to do is think about it like it's okay to write about something you were angry about, but you might not want to send it that day. You might want to think before you write. And when you're angry and you write it out, now all of a sudden it starts to take some of that emotion out of it, right? The wisdom is to read it the next morning and then tear it up or delete it from your notes, right? And then rewrite it and watch how much clearer your thought is. There's something that was you were dealing with. Some kind of fear is what made you angry. Probably something about loss. Tony Robbins says that all fears probably come from these things: loss, less, and never, right? Loss, less, and never. Don't let that go over your head. Just think about that for a minute. But when you have a chance to rewrite it the next time, you're going to cool off a little bit. You're going to say it a lot clearer. You're going to pull a lot of the emotion out. Something else I want to say to you as a leader, right? Especially about the part about thinking before you write. Sometimes you'll, as a leader, will have a counterpart or a colleague or a mentee come to you and they'll be super excited. And if they come to you in that moment and they just go, you might spend 2 hours with them, either in your office or on the phone, as they are hyped. They taking all your day up, they excited. And then, who knows if they ever even get it done. But instead of talking about it when they bring it to you, tell them to put it in writing. Tell them to put it in writing and bring it back to you. And then the two of you can discuss it. This philosophy makes them think before they write, right? And now their new concept is going to be more concise. It's going to be more organized. They will have fleshed it out a little bit more. Millionaires, think before you write. One other thought about people interrupting your day with ideas. I remember hearing, this professor, he'd been teaching about 25 years, talking about how he could get little done with all the interruptions that kept showing up until he realized his job was the interruptions. Sometimes as a leader, that is your job, right? To listen to the interruptions because they're important to the people that's bringing them to you. But check this out. Also, you can benefit because like we talked about earlier this week, that ain't flesh and blood right there. A lot of times that's God trying to reach you, trying to tell you something you need. If you have the discernment to know they have good intentions and their heart is pure, you're both going to benefit, especially when you tell them to think before they write. All right, here's number four. Try before you quit. Try before you quit. They always talk about how Thomas Edison failed 10,000 experiments before he founded electricity. Well, that was actually my great-great-great-great-grandfather, Lewis Latimer, that helped him conquer that particular mountain, right? My family member, Lewis Latimer, discovered the carbon filament that went in a light bulb and kept it from burning out. But let me tell you, both Thomas Edison and Lewis Latimer had to have a strong FQ, not an IQ, not an EQ, but an FQ, a failure quotient. Do you have the ability to fall down 9 times and get out 10? Abraham Lincoln, I talk about him in my book that'll be out before the new year, where he's talking about how, we talk about how this dude lost the great majority of the elections he ever tried before he became elected president. Just like Edison, he had a strong FQ. The Wright brothers, they would bring enough pieces out. Some of you know, some of you don't. They were bicycle mechanics. They were not aeronautical engineers. They were bicycle mechanics. And before they got that first thing to stay in the air for 12 seconds, right? They used to bring out enough pieces to crash 5 times a day when they were building this first plane. They had a strong FQ, a strong failure quotient. It's easy to quit. It's tough to try. Enthusiasm is amazing, but endurance is rare, right? Enthusiasm is incredible, but endurance is rare. And so that's what we're saying. We're saying number 4, the 4th ethic of life we're giving you is try before you quit. Try before you quit. And then here's the 5th one I got for you, y'all. Live before you die. Live before you die. Man, my granny always told me something, and it stuck with me. My granny was the type of lady who got her law degree in her 50s. Really big champion for education. But let me tell you what she taught me. She taught me, millionaires, that travel is better than education. That travel is much better than education. It's affirmation time. Start calling in right now. Start calling in right now. Travel is better than education. That's why I think you need our vision board coloring book. because you get to travel in advance. You get to experience it in advance. You'll see what I mean when we do this affirmation call in just a second, right? We tell you to experience it in advance. Millionaires, you got to live before you die. And one of the best ways to do that is to stop and smell the roses. Look at how far you've come every now and then. Millionaires, traveling. Later on the day, I'm hopping on an airplane, right? And I'm excited about it because travel is better than education. There are places around this world that will teach you more. There are people and cultures around this world that will teach you more than you could ever learn in a classroom. Even when you talk to your friends who are well-traveled, the insights they have, the perspectives, they are mind-blowing. Everywhere does not look at color the same way. Everywhere does not look at race the same way. Everywhere does not look at how you treat neighbors the same way, how you treat strangers the same way. There are things you will pick up. Traveling with my mentor, I've been with my mentor, Mr. Les Brown, everywhere from like Costa Rica to London. I could go on and on and on. And the things that I've learned, I know I couldn't have learned any other way. He had to show me these things. There are concentration camps to visit. There are pyramids to visit. There are Amazon and Nile rivers. Do you get what I'm saying? Start making it a goal to live before you die. We're going to get out of here. It's affirmation time. I hope this was a good addition to your Friday. I hope that you got something out of this, some increase. The 5 ethics or principles that can lead you to a successful life, y'all, is listen before you speak, earn before you spend, think before you write, try before you quit, and live before you die. I love you. Let's get